don't get banned, a lot can happen to you.
No, I had to save his life.
Yeah. Yeah. So you decide now to join Orange or?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I joined Orange.
Orange. Orange.
As the French say, Orange.
Orange. But the Orange is a French name or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then there's Orange. For the longest, I thought
it's the same. One and the same. It's just a pronunciation.
Oh, okay. I see.
Your choice of language.
Yeah, I see. Orange. Yeah. Orange.
Yeah.
There's no R. Anyway, that's beside the point.
It was one of my, other than working with Americans and Kenyans, it was one of my most interesting experience.
Yeah.
Very, very focused people. I really enjoyed it. And then the culture.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And once you get to understand the culture, you know.
What is that culture like?
They're very focused on results, but they also they like to enjoy themselves.
Oh, so you put in 100% work and 100% enjoying yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the first company where, you know, I'd go sit down with my VP over lunch in Paris and have a glass of wine, you know, over lunch. So I learned, and it also, I was a wine lover before.
Yeah.
But now with Orange, it even took it to another level. You know?
Yeah.
And it also gave me an opportunity, you know, to visit, you know, south of France, you know, lots of places in France, you know.
And where the good wine comes from?
Very good wine and champagne.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
from the farm?
From the estate. Yes.
They call them wineries.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So in the US, and that's the other thing, I love wine.
Yeah.
I collect wine.
So the deal was, as much as you're paying me this much, make sure my wine is the wine.
Yeah. Yeah. They were not bad payers, but also the exposure and the interactions and
the experience.
Yeah. And the experience, the whole travel and experience really was very enriching, you know, with Orange. Yeah. And I think you can say you've done a lot everywhere you go in your career, but I think I did the most here.
Okay.
In terms of very, very impactful projects, you know.
Is it because what you do, you can see it really impact on the ground as opposed to the US?
Yes. So one was the partnerships we brought, you know. Then I was managing the undersea side of the world, you know, the international side of the world.
Yeah.
And the partnerships we brought and the content guys we brought down here.
Yeah.
And then I also I got my hands wet, you know, landing a new cable.
Okay.
So we landed there.
Teams or?
Teams, those ones were done by Kina Daktari. Remember, they opened the way for us.
Yeah.
But after that, the space was quiet for a while, for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
So then we landed new cables. We landed DARE and Peace. DARE being the Djibouti African Regional Express.
Yeah.
Fantastic project, interconnecting and trying to keep African traffic in Africa, you know, interchanging.
I love that. Repeat that again.
Yeah, so that
African
was a very passionate project.
Please repeat that again. African traffic?
African.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, within us.
Yeah.
So, and then my friends, I have a lot of respect for the people in Djibouti for that, you know, taking that kind of initiative. So we landed that. And then we also landed the Chinese project Peace, the Pakistani East African Cable Express, which is following the Silicon Corridor, you know, down to here.
Yeah.
So it brought in new cables or new undersea fibers. Yeah. So it opens up the country and the region, you know.
Yes.
So I think that's the most impactful, you know.
Nice.
I'd say that.
Yeah. That is through Orange.
Yeah.
And maybe I should ask this. I hear Orange in Kenya has never done well. Why?
So, a couple of reasons. One, and Mikael, my old boss, is still my friend. We still have coffee in Paris. So, I'll be nice.
Yeah.
One was the environment. The competitive environment was very, very strong.
Yeah.
Two, they inherited something that used to be a parastatal, with very many complexities, and a union. It is the only operator even right now that has union in engineers. So when you're dealing with unions, it's different.
Yes.
It restricts you a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you had dilapidated infrastructure, that needed to be refreshed. So the investment was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's always a story about offloading assets,
And Orange actually came through the government's telecom offering, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was an open bid. I think it was the last minute came down to Orange and MTN.
Okay.
I wanted to buy.
And then Orange
won the bid.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think then the government bureaucracy that you guys inherited actually hindered you from the word go?
Yes and no. It shouldn't have. But you also had a lot of talent coming in from France or from everywhere else that maybe did not understand the local culture and adjust. The systems were good.
Okay.
The processes were good, but it's just application to local and understanding local. I think that's where the gap came in.
Yeah.
But towards the end, they had started figuring it out. But by then, strategically, it was the motions to exit were already in play. Yeah.
And then they exited, but we still see Orange brand around.
No, they cleared the brand
to Telcom.
Yeah, no. So when Helios took over, we went through an exercise.
Okay.
With a Mauritius farm, what is the best way to rebrand and what to rebrand it to, and that's why overwhelmingly went back to Telcom with the blue colors and the refreshing, white and blue.
Yeah.
And I think Helios was on the right path until there was a proposition to merge with Airtel. Then the focus kind of shifted around there.
Yeah.
And then now from there on, it just went south.
Yeah. Now let me ask a controversial question from the strategist himself. So strategically speaking, what do you think, Airtel, Telcom can do even from today to change the dynamics where Safaricom is always winning left, right, and center, especially in East Africa? So what is that one thing that if they do it really well, at least they would get 50-50 or maybe 40-60? Because right now they're not even combined. The market share is really bad.
So Safaricom is a beast because of M-Pesa. They are the mother of M-Pesa.
Yeah.
However, I think there's a space in offering good data. Everything we're doing in our lives right now is around data.
Absolutely.
So if you build good, robust data networks, I think you can give people an option, to say, yes, you can keep, if you need to transact still on M-Pesa, even though now there are many options and over-the-top options.
Yeah.
Just be smart about your data experience and your data costs.
Yeah.
And that is happening right now.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right. I used Telcom briefly between 2015 to 2016, thereabout. And do you know what I just used it for?
Data. Yes.
So, and I don't know why they keep losing this step, because over time I felt like it's not consistent. Yeah. The offering was good, but it was not consistent in terms of what I expected. So I feel like, for sure they could really, and the demand is growing. That's where the demand is, because the M-Pesa guys can only, remain so many. But with the data every single day, when someone buys a laptop and someone buys a phone, they want to use data. And now there's eSIM. So in terms of migration,
it's easy.
It's easy. When we were working there, how much of these, even Safaricom, really invested in engineering or developers? From the enterprise level to general application and innovation space?
I can say, I have to be politically correct, but also honest. I can say that Safaricom does invest a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, compared to the other operators.
Yeah. Do you think also that would be strategy for the rest?
I think it would be strategic.
Yeah.
If you created, innovation or incubation hubs, spaces. It's very, very important to have a small budget for that. In any organization, especially here in Kenya, because things can change very quickly.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, and by the way, it's not too late for that actually. If anyone really, and I've seen Safaricom do it, but for some reason they don't do it right.
Yeah.
So they keep trying things, and then along the way they drop, and then they have to start again. Along the way they drop. So that's also something else. I felt like if it's done right by any of the telcos.
Yeah.
Because if you think about AT&T Labs, that's where most of the innovations that we use today have come from. Yeah. So they look for innovators, they support that process, they market it, they scale it, and over time it becomes a big, big business.
I think the person who, surprisingly, my opinion, who has a chance to disrupt this market, if they had the right pillars, like turn it upside down, would be Telkom.
Yes.
Because they are the smallest player.
Yeah.
Ask me why.
Why?
If they got a strategic investor to clean up some of the old platforms and all that, to tighten up the network hygiene stuff, open up the platform to innovators.
Yeah.
Let it be an MVNO platform.
Yeah.
MK, you can come with MK Telcom with a proposition that you are targeting your quote-unquote tribe or people you want to deliver your services to.
Yes.
He comes with his Telcom.
Yeah.
So it's a platform. It's like an Uber.
Yes.
It's like an Uber platform.
Yes.
Open it up. Let's see what comes from it.
I don't know why you're saying the right things today, because a week ago we had JQuat doing a hackathon around Africa stocking products and Atlassian products. And one of the guy actually said, as much as I'm building these products, I have an MVP for Telcom. But do you know what his biggest challenge was? Is to get the license.
Yeah.
So imagine if Telcom was willing to be a platform, as you said, a Uber for telecoms.
Yes.
And you see this guy is young and he has his target market.
Yeah.
And then we have 100 of those guys. It will change the whole dynamics.
That is how Virgin was born, Virgin Mobile.
Yeah.
It was young people wanting to listen to music.
Yeah.
They started their own network.
Yeah. And then subscription fee.
Yeah.
From there it
took off. But they didn't have a network. They were just an MVNO.
Yeah.
Latching on a network, a big operator.
Yeah. Who is the chief in Telcom? Is it still Mugo Kimathi?
Yes.
Mugo, if you are listening, if you listen at all, sorry to say this, but the guys who are put in this position sometimes, I have nothing against anyone, but it recalls, I don't know why they don't see these opportunities. That's my surprise, because they're in the space.
Yeah.
Maybe let me not fetch too far. Maybe there is some hindrance, or it's by design. Who knows? But if you're listening, these are opportunities that actually can change.
Yes.
The Silicon Savannah as we know it.
Yeah.
And now you do it full circle, where you are at Airtel. Chief, you have done it, and take it by that all these roles that you play, because I can see it from here, the summary. I can see from the summary. You really do amazing stuff in all these telcos, which actually changes some of the, decisions across the company.
Yeah.
You joined Airtel. What is that one thing that made you, okay, I want to join Airtel and change specifically the business model?
Because I was curious. It was the only one I hadn't tried.
By the way, there are just only 3 telcos in Kenya.
Yeah. Oh, there's also Jamii
Telecom.
Yes.
Okay. But
they focus
on calling? Okay.
I hadn't tried, So yeah, so it was a chance to try it, So the chance to try it. Next month, I think, will be my second year.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
Actually,
in culture.
That year.
Yeah. A little bit different in culture, but also positive. I'd say positive things I picked up is a cost model. Out of all these operators, I don't think I've seen anybody run a cost model as good as the way Airtel does.
What is cost model?
The cost of doing business. The cost of running the telecom. It starts from the building blocks.
Yes.
Yeah. And just zooming in to know where you spend, where you shouldn't spend, what you're good at, what you shouldn't do, what you should outsource. It's not completely perfect. There's some things that I think are strategic that should be in-house.
Yeah.
But I think
they have perfected the art.
They do a good. Compared to what I've seen, they do a good job. Yeah.
So are you involved in refining that?
Airtel is like the United Nations. It's big.
Yeah, it's like the whole of Africa.
It's big.
Yeah,
it's big. So not only that, also you have now the management group in Africa. Then you're part of this management. Then you have to align.
What does that come with for a guy who wants to be in that position?
I'll give you more on my next podcast.
My guests are very interesting. Do you know why? They are so comfortable talking about where they are not currently working.
Yeah.
When it gets to where they are working, they're like, anyways. Chief, there's something that I've seen that you've done here, and I would like to get, more clarity around. You have done 2 certifications. I don't know if you've done more, but what I can see here, you've done 2 certifications. One is in certification, novel certification, and wireless connectivity tech.
Novel, yeah, when I was young, yeah.
At Denton. Maybe you can share what it involves and why certifications are important besides your degree.
Yeah, so at the time then, this was part of my younger days.
Yeah.
And supporting both applications and the network.
Yeah.
Especially for pennies, for JC Penny. It was very important to get certified in Novell, because that's what they mostly used. Be it pennies, be it Rose Perot systems, be it most of the big companies, they use that. So when you did that, it was
CPA in Kenya?
Opener to opportunities at the time. Yeah.
So it's like CPA in Kenya?
Yes, for accountants. Yeah.
Not for accountants. Everyone is an accountant in Kenya. The only thing they don't understand is how to make sure the books look good for the government.
Okay.
That's why CPA in Kenya, all undergraduates do it to some extent. Now you also did management yellow belt management in Lean Six Sigma certification.
Lean Six Sigma, yeah.
Yes.
Lean Six Sigma was a Xerox initiated project. So this was how to be efficient and effective in any given project, So you have different levels, Yellow belt, you can be a black belt. There are different levels of certifications.
Yeah.
But the more you refine your craft and your trade in project management, especially in making sure, in terms of time, efficiency, and effectiveness.
Yeah.
Those are really what you're trying to achieve in any project.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So this was more of Xerox driven.
Yeah, it helps you build the discipline, in project management. Yeah.
I see. And do you think this, even for our local companies, can start trying to find these certifications for their employees?
There's even a project management association, I think, in Kenya now. Yeah, so I think it's something that's very helpful.
Yeah.
It's something that's very helpful. But the one that you never asked me about is the diversity one.
Which one was that? Diversity training.
Yes, that's very big for me.
It's a big topic in the US right now.
Yeah, not even in the US, even here. Even here. Here it's applied a little differently. I've learned how to apply it a little bit differently.
Please share.
Here, I think the sensitivities are around tribe.
Not gender.
Not race. Gender and tribe. So gender, you must get it right.
Yeah.
That one is almost automatic.
Yeah.
That one is, we've come a long way.
Yeah.
But something that people don't pay sometimes attention to is also the tribe.
Yeah.
Because the more diverse a team you have always, you'll end up with better production, you'll end up with better professionalism, and you'll end up with better outputs anyway, all around.
Yeah.
And it's something that sometimes our leaders or my colleagues don't pay attention to. It's a very sensitive one.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Last year I looked at, say, the exco of my old competitors.
Yeah.
And it was an issue. It was a real issue of discussion that they did not understand. They did not see.
Yeah.
Whereby they said, okay, MK, you're the CEO. But if you look at your exco, if you have, let's say, 12 exco members, you cannot have, in Kenya, 9 exco members from one tribe. Yeah. Government is different. But in a corporate.
There's this argument. It's not that, I think it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. So they say there's huge tribes and there's small tribes.
Yeah.
To some extent, it's really hard. You always see maybe the biggest tribe right now is Kikuyus and Luyas. So in a normal day, you see more Kikuyus in one department than other tribes.
True.
But of course, as you've said, you should not see 99% because the CEO is a Kikuyu. Then you see 99% are Kikuyus.
Yeah. You should be conscious.
Yeah.
So if you have 12 slots, and it's not to say that of course you put qualifications ahead.
True. Yeah.
But in the back of my head, I would work to say, okay, I need to give them at least 5, or 6.
Yeah.
Not 9 or 10,
For sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of creates a balance.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm still studying it, but it's something that is sensitive here in Kenya. I'm learning,
Yeah.
I did HR for my master, so I'm learning some of those sensitivities. The people antenna sometimes comes on, Yeah.
Chief, this was a very amazing discussion.
Thank you.
And as we come to a pause, because you said we'll have maybe season 2, season 3. What do you tell someone who is who wants to really grow through the telcos? Because I understand that's a whole different path. It's not like a normal software engineering company. Because you can grow from one department to the other department, back and forth, depending on the needs. What is that one thing that they need to pay attention?
Is just a focus on the details and execution.
Yeah.
If you pay attention to focus and execution, then the results will speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite quote?
Do I have a favorite quote? I'd say be yourself.
Be yourself.
Yeah, always be yourself. Be authentic.
That's amazing.
Be kienyeji. Be yourself.
Kienyeji. Did you just say kienyeji?
Something like that. Yeah. Does it make sense?
A lot of sense. A lot of sense. Especially to our sisters. Yeah. They're the ones who are easily influenced by external forces.
Yes.
Easily. But nevertheless, we love them the way it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, George.
Thank you.
And it was amazing to have you. And our listeners, please subscribe, like, follow, to enable us to bring you more amazing guests like George. And if you liked what George shared, please let us know through the comments.
George is my slave name, so I'll take it too.
That's why I'm using it at the end.
Okay.
Yes. He's well known as Kebaso.
Thank you.
Yes. I don't know if I've said it right, though.
You said it right.
Yes. So please subscribe and share. And also check out Kebaso on LinkedIn, connect, ask him for any advice as long as you're African or any clarification you need. I have to be selfish with this, right? I'm addressing 1 billion people, by the way.
Okay.
That's very serious. So thank you so much. Until next time, this is MK, or if you like, Michael Kimathi, representing Impact Masters Podcasts in collaboration with Africa's Talking Podcasts, telling the African stories the right way, authentically, raw as they come. Until next time, see you.